to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making for you today is pickled onions. Pickled onions is super easy to make, and I got asked by one of our viewers to make it. I had featured it on a few of our dishes that we had put out recently. So what I'm going to do now is show you a few of the ingredients. Okay, we're going to be using 4 yellow onions. We're going to be using a sweet pepper. You could use one like this or the round one. And we're going to be using pickling spice and the bay leaves, sea salt, sugar, and we're going to be also using vinegar. And I've cut the onions up in advance, and it's just got to be very thin little round slices. You can have it chopped if you want to, but this is fine. And the same thing with the peppers is going to be cut in little tiny cubes. So let's get started. Okay, so what I'm going to show you first, I got a piece of cheesecloth, and you can also do this with a little container. You could put your tea bag in, and it's got holes in it, and that works perfect as well. So you're going to get a tablespoonful of pickling spice, you put it in the middle, and a couple of pieces of bay leaves there, and then you're just going to fold it up. So I don't want this pickling spice in with our onions, I just wanted the flavor. So the reason for putting it into a little pouch like this, it prevents it from coming out, but all the flavors infuses into the onions and of course the peppers. So you just tie it like this and it'll go directly into the mixture. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next, we're going to be adding in a cup of hot water. I boiled this kettle in advance, so you can microwave it, it doesn't matter. So a cup of hot water, and we're going to have 1.5 cups of clear vinegar. You can call it white vinegar, but 1.5 cups. And it's got to be this kind because the other kind don't work with this, so let's put it in there. Okay, so what we're going to put in next is 3 tablespoonfuls of white sugar. You can also use brown sugar. You could use organic sugar, whatever you wish to use. And we're also going to be using a half a teaspoonful, I'm going to eyeball this, of sea salt. Next I'm going to add in my chopped peppers. And got to be red peppers because they are so sweet and nice. It just adds to this pickled onions. And we're going to be adding in now our 4 medium or large chopped onions. And I got them into rings. If you like it smaller, you can also do that. Because remember, this is going to be your pickled onions when you continue making them. So I'm going to stir all this together so that I get it all equally coated with the vinegar and the sugar. And then I'm going to be putting in the pickling spice, and I'll put that right into the middle and just put it down as far as it can go. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this boiler. I'm going to put it on a medium to high heat, and we're going to leave it there for 20 minutes for it to start cooking these onions down and making them just a little tender. You don't want them to be overboiled, and I'll show you what that looks like when we get closer to it. Welcome back to Bonita's Kitchen. Our pickled onions is now done, so I'm going to reach for my boiler now and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so that was 20 minutes on a medium to high heat. I only checked it once and I stirred it a little bit, put the lid back on because I wanted to lock in those juices. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like in the boiler. Okay, so hopefully it won't be too much steam. I'll let it out slowly. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do now, while it's nice and hot like this, we're going to start bottling it. So hopefully you got all your bottles ready to go. I have already cleaned and prepared 6 1-cup mason jars. We may need a little more, it all depends. And as you can see, the onions are nice and tender, so you're just gonna equally put a nice helping with the juice into it. So I'll show you this one, and then I'll show you a little bit closer. So just stuff it in there as much as you can, and then we're going to put in the pickle. You could leave the bag in there right now. The bag, when I'm saying the bag, the one with the pickling spice in there. And this is what it's going to look like. After you've put the right amount into your mason jar, clean around the rim because you always got liquid that's going there. You're going to put the lid and the ring on. This is pretty hot here now. And best to bottle it while it's piping hot because you want it to seal. Put it on nice and tight. If you're doing this when it's more at room temperature, I'll show you how to do the canning by boiling it after, but you shouldn't need to if you put it in nice and hot like this, and that's what it's going to look like. And you just continue doing all of them. It's nice, and the onions is perfect there now because they can, you know, they're going to pickle more when it's in the jar, and as it goes to room temperature it'll be nice as well. So continue doing this. Now somebody is going to be saying, what are you going to be using pickled onions for? Well, good question, because you could use this on your hamburgers, with your Jig's dinner. You can put it as a side with anything that you enjoy having. This smells absolutely delicious. You can smell all the spice from the pickling spice there, and the nice smell of onions. And if those of you that do enjoy onions, you will love this dish. Like I said, you can use it for anything that you like. A sandwich, you just take it out. Once it starts pickling in here, it's got a delicious flavor. So remember to clean around the rims first, and then put your lid and your cap. This is really hot. I'm trying to do it quick, and it'll look like this. And as they seal, you will hear a popping sound, and that's a good sound to hear. Okay, so I just sealed up the last bottle, so I really only used 5. I prepared 6 just in case, because I'm using, and you can even use smaller bottles in this, because sometimes when you open up one of these pickles, if you're not going to eat it all within, I would say, a month, you may want a smaller one. But I think this is perfect because it's good for a family. I'm just going to do a little recap now on what we did. We had 4 medium to large onions, 1 red pepper, sweet pepper or just a regular pepper, cut up. The onions was cut up in slices, put into a pan with little cubes of the red peppers, and then boiled with your pickling spice and your vinegar water, and I will have that recipe posted, for 20 minutes, just until tender, and then after bottled while it's piping hot so that it'll seal nice for you. And if you haven't bottled any pickles before, any pickles, what you would do after this go to room temperature, you hear those popping sounds that your lids are sealed. What you would do to check, you would release the rim part of the jar and just go like this. If it don't pop off, that means it's sealed. If it pops off, then you can't put it at room temperature then to store it. You need to keep it in your fridge. So again, I will have that information on this video with the recipe for you to know. This ends our episode of Pickled Onions today. I hope you found this episode helpful for you. Please take the time to make this recipe and visit our website as well for many more recipes that's traditional Newfoundland at www.bonitaskitchen.com. And I also would like to inform you that we do have our cookbook now available on the Canadian Amazon as well as the American Amazon, and that would be .com and .ca if you would like to purchase a copy. So thank you for joining us again for Bonita's Kitchen. From my kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day.